Squirrels! So hello, and welcome to another Legends of Runeterra video. My name is Chris, and today we will be playing Pew Kick Pew Pew Kick because it is a Lux Lee Sin deck, and someone requested this in a comment. And if any of you have any ideas for decks, or you want to see a certain champion combination, or just an idea, then I will be pretty willing to just do it. I have, especially if I think it's quite enjoyable and something a bit unique, and Lux Lee Sin, I think, is that as a whole. Now, obviously they kind of go together as well. They're both spell-based champions. These regions fit quite well for, making that. We've seen Karma Lux be successful in the past, but now since Karma's nerf and that's kind of gone down in play, I think that a Lee Sin Lux deck, with your two champions representing heavy win conditions, whereas opposed to Karma Lux, which was kind of, Lux was your win condition, Karma was just helping you achieve that. I think that the deck could go somewhere, and this is what I've come up with. Normally when you see Lux decks, you see quite a few big spells, particularly if you go into like a Mage Seekers. I know we haven't seen the Mage Seekers really, but stuff like bigger spells is often common. But because we're playing Lee Sin, I've kind of focused more on these little spells and playing multiple little spells to potentially level Lux up, rather than playing one big 6-mana spell. Now we are still playing Remembrance, which is of course just a very good card, and with the buff to the Great Horn Companion, the Moose guy, kind of makes everything in Remembrance really, really good, and so it's just a really strong card, and that's why I'm playing it as a 3-of. But other than that, we have gone for the sort of more spell spammy type package with Claws of the Dragon and Eye of the Dragon as our early game to help us really get those spells out. By the time we're getting to Lee Sin, we have leveled him up potentially. Key Guardian, obviously another one that goes very well with Claws of the Dragon, because if you give Claws of the Dragon the barrier and then you summon it at burst speed for a blocker, by giving it barrier as well, you can make a free trade, and that's a very powerful effect to have. And obviously goes well with stuff like Lee Sin in spell spamming as well. Draws you a card. It's kind of weird. This card wasn't really played before the new expansion came out, and now you see it quite a lot in these kind of Lee Sin decks. Or just in a lot of different decks in general. One Purify, I've said this many times that I always kind of like One Purify. Very good against They Who Endure. Just good in a lot of spots. Very good against stuff like Fury of the North. Good against elusives. I think Purify is in a pretty good spot right now with where the meta is and a lot of different things that are coming out. We are seeing big combat tricks like Fury of the North be quite popular. And as I say, elusives are on the rise and stuff like that. So I think something like Purify could really help. Retreat, Return, obviously, and Sonic Wave. Here we are combining our elements of these small spells, which are good for stuff like Eye of the Dragon, again Claws of the Dragon, and just in general, good for Shadow Assassin. Of course, as a prime retreat return target. Single combat, good card. That's why we're playing it. Sonic Wave, a similar thing. Good for removal, very good with Eye of the Dragon's little dragonlings. Obviously giving them Challenger is pretty neat. Twin Disciplines, a Shadow Assassin, kind of a general Ionia package, good for keeping stuff alive. Twin is a card that I'm always been a bit meh on. It's like a bad Elixir of Iron, I always think of it as. Like, it's 1 extra health for 2 mana, essentially. I know you can get the attack, but very, very rarely are you ever using that. Concussive Palm, great card for staying alive. 1 Deny, pretty standard these days. 2 Grizzled Ranger, of course, we do get the benefit of having, a good solid card like Grizzled Ranger, which also goes very well with Remembrance, because oftentimes, they will block a Grizzled Ranger or something like that, and that will give us a cheaper Remembrance, but also means if we get the Radiant Guardian, we will be able to get the Lifesteal and Tough as well. 3 Will of Ionia. For those of you who aren't aware, Will of Ionia is in an amazing position right now. With so much Freljord, the reason Freljord was so bad before was because Will of Ionia was everywhere, and so Freljord became somewhat unplayable, as they're kind of about buffs and big things and stuff like that. And Will of Ionia essentially just shuts them down completely, and so yeah, it's a very good 3-of right now. And then our 2 champions, which are our 2 finishers here, and having 6 potential finishers that do it in different ways as well, which means that your opponent will often not have the exact answers for them. can be quite neat also. So that's the deck. I think it's quite fun. It's in an interesting position. I think any deck that runs 3 Will of Ionia is actually in a pretty decent position right now. I think if you have any deck that literally is, you know, well designed to run 3 Will of Ionia, you're in a pretty decent spot. So yeah, let's take it for a test run and see what we can do. So we come up against Fizz Twisted Fate, which is an interesting one. Twisted Fate can obviously be a bit of a problem. We don't have the most direct removal. Fizz as well, so I'll keep the single combat for that reason. I'll probably get rid of the Purify and the Retreat. They're not a super fast deck, so you know I'm not expecting anything there. So we can probably go into Grizzled Ranger. That's a Lee Sin. So no turn 1 Fizz, that could be somewhat helpful as well. Lee Sin can be a good way of removing Fizz if we need that. We'll just pass this turn as well. Not much to do. Okay, Coral Creatures. That probably means he doesn't have Fizz at all. Of course, he might not want to play Fizz turn 1, although I don't think our colours have any punishment for it. So he plays Coral Creatures instead. We've got Concussive Palm. We'll probably go into Key Guardian here, probably on the Grizzled Ranger, which will give us a nice bit of free damage potentially next turn. Another single combat. We're fine to pass there now. Good thing is we could possibly attack twice with Grizzled Ranger here, and then even go into a single combat on one of these Jagged Butchers. So these are a bit scary. So he does have Fizz now. That was the top deck Fizz. That's fine. There's a Will of Ionia. Fizz obviously is sort of the one counter to that. So we could go in for Twisted Fate here. As I say, we do have the single combat for that. He does. He goes for the blue card. That's kind of helpful for us. As we are going to be able to get off a pretty big attacking turn here. He might want to block with the Coral Creatures. We shall see. He does. So we get 1 free kill. I'm still going to go in for this second attack though and see if he wants to block. He doesn't want to block that time. So we will simply pass the turn then. Now this Fizz, as I mentioned, we're probably going to have to deal with by getting Lee Sin out there. Fortunately, we haven't found much of our early game. There's a Yordle Grifter, so we know he has the warning shot at this point. So what I'll probably do here is just stun one of you, stop the attack, give us the extra blocker. Goes for Pocket Aces on Twisted Fate. That's fine. Still got the single combat. Boys, time to get rich. Interesting, he attacks with this, but not this. Seize the opportunity. Oh, so he does go for it now. We'll just block like so, and I think we will now go in for the single combat. Get the block off. Be A-OK as a whole. Lee Sin up to 2, but we can play him next turn, and we probably will want to. Although we don't have the most spells, but we save ourselves some life, and surviving in this matchup, we probably are the slower player overall. So. I mean, I don't really see another play other than to go for big Lee Sin. He probably doesn't have the most ways to deal with it. Other than maybe Thermo Beam. But I'm not sure he would run Thermo Beam. In fact, I'm just going to end the round. I'm going to punish him there for not doing anything. And make him waste his mana a lot. Because by doing so, it gives us a massive mana advantage there that he didn't do anything on that turn. And we didn't have the best options. Retreat was kind of our only one for Lee Sin here. So he goes for gold card. Which I think is fine. We can play Lux now and obviously give ourselves a free block pretty much with the barrier. He might go Warning Shot, Fizz, something like that. So he goes for pick a card. That was a pick a card and not a Twisted Fate. Yes. So it wasn't a Twisted Fate. And he does just go in for that attack with Fizz. And now I think we can probably just punish that with Lux. Even if he's got Mystic Shot or something to damage Lux, we should be fine. Yep, so that's 2 Twisted Fates down.
Conflict is all in the mind.
Lee Sin is up to 4 of 7. He does draw his 3 cards. So what I might do now is actually wait. Wait for what he wants to do. We'll see. We've got Retreat Return if we need it. Oh, of course. Riptide? No? Bill for Goods is fine. I was much more worried about Riptide. Bill for Goods without Black Market Merchant is kind of like a play that I think people think is a lot better than it is. It's often, you know, a bit defunct in a way. So Lux is on 2, which unfortunately is a bit awkward for our hand as well. As you can see, we could always Concussive Palms, something like that, which would give us the Lux level up as well. I don't hate it at this point. Let's be efficient with Lux. Let's stun. Let's stun the coral creatures. No. Let's stun you. Summon the Eye of the Dragon as well. Now, he could have picked up our Deny, our Will of Ionia. That would be very frustrating indeed, if that was the case. We get our Lux level up as well. We get the free spell. Our Lee Sin gets Challenger. Will of Ionia, I think, would be the only card I'm a bit scared of. We've used 2 single combats. We've got 1 Will in hand, so we know it's unlikely. Second pick a card. Again, not that big of a deal. So we will just take Fizz out. We get attacked with you. So we attack with you. And you. In fact, if he's picking a card there, I am going to use the Final Spark now. Give our Lee Sin barrier as well. Just in case of something like Mystic Shot, which he probably is running. It's going to also get our Lee Sin up to 6.
A beacon through the dark.
Conflict is all in the mind. Strike firm. Prepare yourself.
Illuminate the enemy.
Again, if he's not going to do anything, then we can attack with all, of course. And we can get off a really big hit there. As I say, the only thing I'm worried about here would be Will of Ionia on this. It doesn't look like he has. He goes for Rummage instead. The Jury Rig. Okay, that's pretty nice. Looks like he's searching for something. He does level up his Fizz. That's fine as well. Unless this is Will of Ionia. He got Retreat Return from me, okay. There's not much we can do about that. That's fine. And I'm glad it's not Will of Ionia because he probably would have used it there. So that's probably good news for us overall. Plays the coral creatures. We did get the 2 spells. Of course we did because it's got bang.
I take no pleasure in fighting a child.
Me neither. I'm like at least twice
And we can just wait. And, you know, I'm feeling pretty confident about where we are now.
breathe in.
He has got the extra draw power, but I'm not too worried about that. Just goes for Zap.
What's the water like down there, guys?
We can just pass at this point. He goes for Suit Up. It's a somewhat interesting and kind of minor play. Guess we'll skip the block. He gets a shark. But he's gonna be in some trouble here. Still feeling fine. Perfect goods again. Again, the only thing is Will of Ionia.
Rain from a cloudless
Okay, one to
sky.
Claws of the Dragon. That helps. He goes for Pocket Aces again. Again, that's all fine. We'll kill this. Is what that pretty much means. Second looks pretty nice. So we'll go Sonic Wave probably on who? Let's give it to the old Badger Bear.
Enemies cannot hide.
Lee Sin will level up.
The dragon's fury.
As I say, apart from Will of Ionia, he is incredibly difficult to remove. Give our... we'll wait with the Resonating Strike, I think. With you leveled up, we'll take Fizz. With you, we'll take that. And then we'll attack with you. We'll attack with Lux as well, we've got the barrier. I feel no problem with doing that.
You lack subtlety.
Don't be Will of Ionia. Rummage. Okay, you got Key Guardian. So we didn't get Will of Ionia, so we're pretty safe here, I think. Oh, but of course. Well, it's still going to kill the Fizz, so I'm still fine. Do I care about this at all? I think... Didn't we just get the better of that? I mean... You might have, what, second Fizz? You know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to retreat return you. This is probably a mistake attacking with this. I probably prefer the retreat return on this. Just in case he top decked another Fizz and has a way to, you know, deal with it. I am going to just do that.
A wise retreat.
And that obviously gives our Lee Sin barrier as well. Lux is on 4. Goes for the shark. Just fine. I do want to get the Lux here, so what I might do is treat return you for the potential kill on the shark. I think he is somewhat running out of options here. Gives us the 1 mana back. We'll get the spells. We'll get the dragon. Third pick a card. Probably looking for second fizz at this point, you would have thought.
I fight with my spirits, not my fists.
Ura-chan, our friend, will blast you. We've got the concussive palm now. Might as well use this resonating strike. Just to help level up Lux. So she's on 2. He again will draw 3 cards. As I think he's somewhat desperately looking for that fizz. There's a remembrance. Kill the Grifter, that's fine. He again did not get that. So I think at this point we can just go in for a big remembrance. It's gonna get our Lux up there again. Deny, so we did get our deny. That's good to know. Goes for warning shot. This is for what? Second pilfered goods, black market. Again, Will of Ionia, the only thing I'm really worried about. Double black market. Okay, that's a bit scarier. What are you on? 2? So let's do this. Get you up to 4. And kill one of these merchants right now. This game is going on for a long, long time. This person is hanging on by the skin of their teeth. Oh, he goes for this kill. I find that peculiar. I have no qualms with just killing whatever you want. And we'll just kill this. That again says to me doesn't have Will of Ionia, because you think that would be the play on this. So we will end the round. We again got the 2 spells, which means we can attack with the dragon this time. And we, with double Lux, probably just go in for something like you.
Conflict is all in the mind.
Take you. Attack with everything. Get him down pretty low. Don't see many ways he could deal with this. You're on 3, so any barrier will give it to us.
You made choices.
Why are you here?
That puts him on 1. Goes for suit up, but that doesn't matter. Don't know what he was thinking that does, but it doesn't do anything. Goes Sonic Wave to Resonating Strike. Okay, that still doesn't matter. That's not how that card works. Into Warning Shot. Into what? Pilfered Goods? No.
I won't stand by.
So we get the
I will not hold back.
final spark, which we actually can't use. That was actually a mistake as well. Well, we keep our Lux alive, I suppose. Maybe it's not. He's down on 1. Can't play a unit. And he won't. So this game continues to drag on. Get another dragon. Can't think of too many things, especially with this draw, that he could have. It'd have to be fizz into an absolute crazy amount of stuff. So you got second Key Guardian. We know this is a unit. Counterfeit copies. Oh, is that the random spell he got? Into what? Twisted Fate. Red card. Yeah, that's fine. Which it does mean our remembrance doesn't cost 6, but that's still fine as well. He's just willing to attack straight up. I don't want to go down to 5.
I will not hold back.
So, if I put barrier on you, we can kill him this turn. Let's just do that, I guess.
I will not hold back.
Like, why not? Like, let's just kill you. Nothing happens. We aim for the Twisted Fate. And he warning shots into pilfered goods, into surrender. Woo! God, that game was a marathon.
I thank you, Dragon.
Okay, an Ezreal Bilgewater deck. No Twisted Fate, which is somewhat interesting, but okay. This I think we can deal with. We can probably get rid of both of you. We'll keep the Remembrance though, which could be our turn 3 play. As he's probably not going that quick, and apart from a big Thermo Beam, he probably doesn't have the most answers to it. And if he does not have that Thermo Beam, potentially with a big moose, we could, you know, really cause some damage on turn 4 here. Okay, we got the Shadow Assassin. And I probably will go into Shadow Assassin instead here, because he is holding open a very big Thermo Beam potentially. Purify, not the most useful in this matchup. He's probably running 3 Riptide Rexes. I don't mind that dying, I don't think. Yeah, I think this is all fine. Play Grizzled Ranger and it will die. But again, that's fine.
Let's mess some folks up.
Stack Shock, potentially.
Here we go.
Yeah, okay. Make It Rain, that is pretty good for us. See, now I could force the extra removal from him. Because he probably wants to plunder here, and so I think that's actually going to be my play. Because he's going to want to go into Pilfered Goods and Black Market Merchant, I'm pretty sure. So by forcing him here to commit to extra removal, we can stop that play in his tracks. That's what this Make It Rain is trying to do. He's trying to plunder, obviously. And we have to somewhat race any Ezreal deck. Okay, he's playing Jagged Butcher. I'm not too sure about that one, but that's fine.
What's that you got there?
Double Jagged Butcher. This is an odd deck. I don't think you want to run Jagged Butcher in any Ezreal deck, really. I think you can find better stuff to do than that. This might be our one purified target. If he's not going to do anything, then I will go and give Lee Sin barrier. So that's fine. We could probably go in for... We've either got Lee Sin or Lux here, and I think I'd rather go in for Lux. So we can attack first.
Say your farewell.
He blocks. So I think he's looking for a Static Shock or something like that. I'm fairly sure he's got a Thermo Beam in hand. Again, he doesn't want to play. So I'll just go in for Lux now.
The sun is shining. We should too.
So his hand to me is reading big Thermo Beams, Static Shocks, stuff like this. One Mystic. This will be into exactly Thermo Beams for 7. Risky play by him, but unfortunately we don't have the punish for it. To parlay. this will be into Thermal Beam. Now his Ezreal is on 4. But the options in his hand are very quickly diminishing, as you can see.
Extend your strength.
I am going to develop here and force him to do something. We've got the retreat now, and that's something that we could have used with before. But something like Remembrance is not something that he deals with very well. Especially now looking at this, and now obviously we are pushing a lot of damage. So he's going to want to respond in some way. That's interesting. Okay. But really all he's done there for me is given me the option to do this.
Strike firm. Prepare yourself.
And again, we're expecting something from it, but of course this can't kill the Lee Sin, and that's kind of what's important. Get excited. I couldn't have picked a better card for him to do that with. So right now we can just single combat. So Lee Sin goes up to 5. Him being down on 2 cards is pretty important. Okay, he goes for a Thermal Beam. It was likely he was on 2, to be fair. Ezreal now is leveled up, but with 1 card in hand, and this is a big problem for him. This is kind of why I prefer a Twisted Fate package with a lot of draw, is for this very reason. I'm actually going to start off with Shadow Assassin. Any spell that he uses now that he's leveled up Ezreal is essentially somewhat useless. I could have retreated, returned that. What am I doing? Yeah, what am I doing? We'll give it to Lee Sin. And we'll okay that. I mean, just look at the cards now. Unless this is progress day exactly, then we should be fine. We still got retreat return. Maybe I should have kept it for this. This may be more important. What's it going to be? Ezreal? I don't like the way his deck is built at all. And if he's just going to let us push extra damage, then yeah, I'm going to feel free to do so.
You've been in my thoughts.
Only you always did.
This right now is 5, 8, 11. So I mean, what, we need 1 spell to level up Lee Sin, and that is lethal now. With extra as well, so he's gonna need something here. Jury rig, okay. I mean, I might as well use this as well. On you, sure.
I will not hold back.
And unless a card is literally like, unless he draws Warning Shot into Riptide Rex, I just don't see a way he can win this game. Okay, so he's got Ezreal. We'll just single combat it and win the game. So we'll probably concede right here. Yeah. So that's the deck, and you can see it does have quite a few cool synergies, particularly if you can get Lux leveled up and get her final sparks going. Of course, they counter spells for Lee Sin, which is, you know, potentially really strong when that does come off, which it did, I think, in the first game. But yeah, this deck, I think, you see, it can be a slog sometimes, particularly if your opponent likes to just hold on as much as they can, but it's one of those decks that really does just grind people down, I think, and that's kind of Lux's whole thing, really. And it's why we've seen it with Karma Lux, because it makes that grinding down just a bit quicker. But you see how, you know, with these two champions, you can just control, and they're very difficult to remove due to their health stats, and Lee Sin particularly with Ionia is incredibly difficult to remove because he can just continuously get barrier. But you see, you don't have to play a bunch of big spells, which is the trap that I fell into first, was playing a bunch of big spells and realizing that Lee Sin was never going to level up. I think the better way is to run a bunch of small spells, and this isn't my normal way of playing the game, so this is probably one of the decks that I'm worst at, because I'm not used to Lux and spell spamming and all of that. It's never been my forte, but I think that this is a pretty cool deck, and so yeah, check it out. So I've been Chris, thank you for watching, have a really nice day, like, comment, subscribe and all that, and I will see you next time.